What up, people? I am so excited to talk to you guys today. It's because the Canon R5 and R6 are finally here. Yeah. So hey guys, welcome back. My name is Abishek, Swami. If you are meeting for the first time, hello. The Canon R5 and R6 is released. It's amazing. It's like a whole new technology. The features are great. I would try to get my hands on it as soon as I can. I was way too excited. It has been so long for Canon to come back. These Sony boys are going to have a tough time. If you have been into photography for the last decade, you would have noticed that, come what may, Sony could not match with Canon when it comes to DSLR. However, when the mirrorless was introduced, Sony boomed. Their Alpha mirrorless series was amazing. Those guys came up with this eye tracking. All the filmmaking people were in complete love with it. And now comes the Canon R5 and R6, and they've literally boomed. I've been a loyal Canon fan ever since I started practicing photography or learning photography. My entire camera lineup is Canon. I started with 550D, then I bought a 70 Mark II, then a 550D, then a 70 Mark II, then that's it. I own only two bodies of Canon. Doesn't matter, I'm still a huge fan of Canon. So I was actually waiting for these guys to come up with a bang on mirrorless camera because I, one way or the other, could not leave Canon. I was sentimentally attached to it. I was actually this close to buying a Sony mirrorless camera. Which one was that? I think it was their A7R3, I guess, back in Thailand. But at the last moment I decided, okay, if I'm going to buy it, I would rather buy it in India itself. Price was not much different. So long story short, I didn't buy. I'm still sticking to my beautiful Canon 70 Mark II. So let's talk about Canon R5 and R6. What are they? What is packed inside this small mirrorless body? It is mind-boggling. I'm not sure how many of you guys watched the live launch event. I literally got goosebumps during the entire show. It was like, what, all the time for me. So without further ado, let us get into the details. So what I'm amazed about the R5 and R6 primarily is what they call IBIS, the in-body image stabilization, which is a 5-axis stabilization which could work in synchrony with your lens, which again, if it has an IS, the image stabilization option, the lens IS and the camera's IBIS will work in synchrony and ensure an even smoother photographs or videographs. So Canon claims that the image stabilization along with the camera's in-body image stabilization, the 5-axis IBIS, together can give you up to 8 stops of shutter speed in case you're going to hand hold your camera and take photographs or videographs. The body tracking, when you compare it with the previous M50, it again looks very amazing. Canon also claims that it is the world's best, never seen before, first of its kind technology, which I am very hopeful about. So in a nutshell, the Canon R5 is the superior camera. Should I say superior? Is the better camera out of the two. The Canon R5 has a little more edge over the R6 and way more edge over the other cameras in the entire market. It is the first camera which has come that can shoot 8K. Do you guys realize how amazing that is? I mean, I'm not even sure how many people have a device that can play 8K. However, the Canon R5 can shoot videos with autofocus, no crop, with their 5-axis image stabilization in 8K. Sorry, I should add the C-Log, the cinema lock to it, so it can shoot raw videos. Also, the Canon R5 can shoot 4K at 120 FPS. Imagine how high detailed, high resolution your slow motion would have. 120 frames per second in 4K. Again, with autofocus, you can shoot cinema lock with the 5-axis image stabilization. What more do you need? I don't know. Coming back to R6, the R6 however cannot shoot 8K videos. I am not sure how many of you guys might see that as a disadvantage because of usage, I guess. However, it can shoot 4K again in cinema log. It has got the very same autofocus feature, the same processor, and it can also shoot along with the 5-axis image stabilization. 4K, no crop, 5-axis image stabilization. That's it. That is all you need. And it can also shoot full HD at 120 frames per second, which is decent, good enough for a beginner, I guess. There's not much of a difference between R6 and R5. Both use the same battery. The sizes are very similar. There is a mini LCD screen on the top of R6, which is not there in R5. They bought the dial back, the scroll button, which is liked by many people who use Canon cameras. While the Canon R5 being the superior camera, it however lags behind R6 when it comes to AF points. So the Canon R5 has 5940 AF points, while the Canon R6 has 6072 AF points. Canon R6 has 132 extra AF points when compared to R5. I'm exactly not sure about what they thought about when they did this, because since Canon R5 being the flagship, I think it should have also had the very same number of AF points. They might have their own reasons. They both share the same continuous shooting speed. With a mechanical shutter, both the cameras can shoot 12 frames per second. With an electronic shutter, both the cameras can shoot like 20 frames per second, which is again great for sports photographers or wildlife photographers where you cannot miss a second. One more thing which I do not understand, I do not get the reason behind, is the ISO range of both the cameras. The Canon R5 can go up to a maximum of 51-200, whereas the Canon R6 can go to a maximum of 10-24-00. That's 1,02,400. That is literally like double the ISO range of Canon R5. Probably because of the better sensor, I guess. The Canon R5 possesses a 45 megapixel CMOS sensor, while the Canon R6 has a 21 megapixel CMOS sensor. There has been a long debate whether the pixel range actually matters. It does in some instances. If you're going to be a landscape photographer or an event photographer like a wedding photographer, there you could crop your image twice as you could do with a 21 megapixel camera with your R5 which has 45. R5 which has 45. That's nice. The R5 can again shoot photographs in 8K resolution, while the Canon R6 can shoot photographs only in 4K resolution. Both of the cameras have 2 slots of memory card. However, the R5 has 1 CF slot and the SD slot, while the R6 has 2 SD slots. So the R5 is priced at 3,39,995 including all taxes, the body only, while the R6 costs 2,15,995 just the body. I mean, in a nutshell, this is what R5 and R6 are about. So if you have to compare R5 and R6, first and foremost, R5 costs around $1 lakh more than R6. It's costlier because it's better. How is it better? R5 can shoot 8K videos, R6 cannot shoot 8K videos. R5 has a bigger LCD screen, R6 has a little smaller LCD screen. It's 3.2 inches versus 3 inches, that's like 0.2 inches. And R5 has a CF card and an SD card slot. The R6 has dual SD card slots, which a lot of people have. I think it's a matter of personal choice. There are a few things which I'm worried about the R5 actually. Its capacity to shoot 8K footage. If you take a traditional cinema camera like the C300 or the C500, they have this huge fans to cool them, because when your camera is shooting at 8K, I mean a couple of years back, even if your camera is shooting at 4K or full HD, it gets hot and it will stop shooting after a period of time. So R5, which is too small, which does not have a fan like that, how long and how good it will be able to handle 8K footages in log. So if you have to choose between R6 and R5, I'll give you a few pointers. It is very simple. If I have to choose between these two, I would probably go with the R6, keeping the budget in mind. So for $1 lakh, you will get to shoot 8K footages. You will have a small LCD screen on the top. You will get an CF card slot instead of an SD card. And that's it. And R6 is more versatile in my personal opinion, mainly because of its ISO capability. It can go up to 1,02,400 versus the R5, which can go up to 51-200. The exposure value compensation is up to 6.5, whereas in R5 it's only up to 6. It has got more AF points. R5 lacks around 130 AF points when compared to R6. R6 is equal in every other aspect to R5. Let it be the latest IBIS, the in-body image stabilization, the 5-axis in-body image stabilization. Both possess the deep learning autofocus technology, which could track eyes, face and body. Both have the same continuous shooting range. 8K videos, I don't see a need for it in the near future. I'm not even sure how many devices can play 8K. 4K, I'm perfectly happy with 4K. The one thing which I would be missing if I go for an R6 is 4K 120 frames per second. 4K slow-mo, that really tempts me to get the R5. However, I think I don't mind settling for a 1080p 120 FPS. This particular footage I shot with my DJI Osmo Pocket. It is 1080p 120 FPS slow-mo. I am more than happy with it. So let me know your thoughts about the Canon R5 and R6 down in the comments below. If you got any specific questions or queries, leave a comment. I'll get back to them. Hit the like button. It's like just there. Don't forget to subscribe and share. Hit the bell icon. I would probably make a even more detailed video once I get my hands on an R5 and an R6. So until then, stay home, stay safe. Bye.